Okay, next part of the restoration of the crossmember, and now we're looking at the brake caliper. It would be a shame just to put that onto the hub, so I'm going to attempt to recondition the brake calipers. And before I do that, I need to assess a couple of items. First thing is going to be, can I actually remove the bleed nipple? There also is a bleed plug, and can I remove that? Can I remove the braided hose which we see there? And then I'm going to squeeze the pads together to expose the pistons. If they are rusty, I will renew the pistons. If they're not, I'll just renew the seals. I'm going to attempt to clean the body, and how I do that I don't know just yet. I will take maybe my wire wheel, and after that I'm going to look at other solutions. I'm going to attempt to try and split the caliper as well, for further investigation. So again, this is the first time, so it's all a learning curve for me. Well, trouble, and if you can see, this is the bleed nipple. I got the plug out, no problem. Couldn't get the bleed nipple out. I heated it up. You can see here, there's the heat gun we have here. Tried to heat it, tapped it with a hammer, and I thought I'd get my extractors out straight in. Maybe that's maybe wrong. I shouldn't have maybe done that, but I thought maybe a bit more heat and maybe get it out, but no. So this is what you're going to come against. You know, I just know this has been in for many years, and I'm going to try and drill it out. So it's two, I can't really record it and drill at the same time, so I'm going to go drilling. Well, I got to this junction and I thought, really, you know, do I look for other calipers that I found online for £20? So I got in touch with a guy and he said, well, they need rebuilding, so we're talking £20 plus the rebuild kit, and it's one of those situations. I'm up to £65. I found a set of calipers for, well, new calipers, refurbed, whatever you want to call them, for £85. So really it's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. I'm just showing here on the video that what I'm going to do is disconnect, put the caliper and the braided hose into a dish and let the brake fluid just drain out. This should take a matter of maybe half an hour, and then remove them. As you can see, I'm just moving up to the crossmember, and how I'm going to disconnect it, the flexi hose from the copper pipe. Again, just undo the top nut, remove it, be careful, make sure you don't actually kink the brake line as in the copper pipe, and again, just take your time, making sure everything's clean, and then remove flexi braided hose. Well, I'm underneath the car, and as you can see, I'm looking at the crossmember from the engine side, and you can see that I've peeled back two tabs that hold the copper pipe, brake pipe, to the crossmember. So it's important that you actually peel them back, pull the brake line slightly backwards towards the engine, just to release it from the crossmember. You will see just to the left there is a bolt with a nut attached, and that is part of the crossmember. I was advised that I should leave that and undo the bolts, or nuts I should say, from inside the engine bay. But just make sure that it's detached, and as you can see from the crossmember, I do have an oil leak. You can just see down there on the chassis we have the two bolts on each side. They need to be undone, and then hopefully it should all drop. Famous last words. Well, the nuts are loose in the engine bay, and slowly, as you can see from the jack, the crossmember is released from the chassis. I'm just making sure that nothing is actually catching the cross member on its way down. Again, I checked the brake line which was attached to the cross member, and everything seems fine. So I'm just slowly, bit by bit, you can see my hands are just checking things, like there's a dish being moved there, but I'm just making sure that I'm not catching anything either on the near side or offside of the cross member. But I'm happy that it just seemed to just leave the car without problem. So yeah, I'm really happy, and again it's slowly making sure. I think if I was going to do this again, I would actually put maybe small chocks either side, and again I'm just making sure as I move the jack up and down, it's just starting to fall in a way that I don't want it to move. But I was so happy at that point that it was free from the car, and all I had to do was make sure that when it was on the garage floor, I was not going to damage the floor or the cross member or anything which was belonging to the car. So yeah, I was one happy chappy that I did not have to try and hammer or trying to make sure that the cross member was going to leave the car with some sort of force. Well, this is another angle of blowing the cross member, and you can just see those bolts to the left and the jack actually holding the cross member in place. Well, the cross member is on the garage floor, and as you can see, it's actually covered in oil from the crankshaft oil seal that is leaking. So you remove the cross member, and then you find another job that actually could be completed as the cross member is released from the car. So I need to make a couple of decisions. Do I now actually release the radiator, fan belt, and then actually try and undo the 1 5/16 bolt to the crank and actually replace the oil seal? Replacing the oil seal, I'm sure, is quite simple. I've never done it before, but I'm sure that once I get, remove all those items, it's just a matter of replacing the seal. But I just want to draw your attention to the cross member, which is actually covered in rust, covered in oil, and one thing is I've not damaged the brake line, which you can see just hanging, and the overflow pipe from the radiator. So again, I'm very happy, and let's just move on. Well, like, share, subscribe, make a comment, give advice, but I'm going to end the video here, and then the next installment will be stripping the cross member and actually looking at jobs that need to be completed as the cross member is removed, and maybe it's just a far easier job to complete without the cross member. So as I hope you've enjoyed this video, and let's not forget, I am not a mechanic. I want to remind people I am a school teacher, and I just got a love for the MGB, but I've also got a love for classic cars. So bye for now.